Welcome on back to Up North at 4. I know what you're thinking. No. We are not in an art studio right now. It just looks like one. It looks very much like one. So, Sean Burgess joining us now, who is a copper artist. And so, Sean, you've made all of this.
I have.
By hand.
Yes.
I feel like I just need to start. How the heck did you decide one day, I'm going to start making copper art?
Well, you know, I'm actually a second-generation sculptor.
Okay.
My dad was
in your
a
blood,
copper sculptor also. Yeah, and about 30 years ago, I learned the basics from him and took off with my own designs and ideas.
Okay.
And there are a lot of details to this. For example, I did not know that you get color through copper by the heat you use, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And so like this sail here, the different colors you see, it's not paint or ink, it's actually the heat you used from the blowtorch.
Yeah.
That's so strange to me.
So there's like a science behind it, right?
There is,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it just as simple as more heat, or the longer you have it on the heat, the darker it gets? How does this work?
It's a combination of all those things. I use an oxyacetylene torch, and I can generate about 1,400 degrees of heat.
It's pretty hot.
And by controlling that and skipping it off the copper and to do different things like on the butterflies and the dragonflies, I can control that slightly.
Okay.
And you've gone for a nature theme. Obviously, there's frogs, there's fish, there's butterflies, there's canoes like landing on the water or on the shore. What's kind of your vision behind these things?
Well, I am nature inspired, as you can see, but I have a lot of elements of humor and whimsy.
Yeah.
I like to laugh. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this frog right here, I don't know if camera 2 can catch it, but like this frog here just makes me
Hanging
laugh.
out on the swing. I love this.
That's something I would do.
I know. I love it so much. I really love this bat hanging back here. I think he's kind of cut off from the sail here, but I love this so much.
And the eyes are so realistic. And you mentioned that came from like a taxidermy eye.
Yeah, it kind of brings them to life.
Okay.
It totally does.
And I found that if you gave a frog an opposable thumb, there was no stopping them.
You're plucking their eyes out left and right. So this is, right now though, this is like your main piece. You said this one was taking you 6 weeks?
Yeah, approximately 6 weeks on that build.
And I don't know if like you can really catch it on camera, but just the detail, I know Jeff can attest to this, just the detail in this one Viking ship is so, it looks just so deliberate, it is so intricate.
So is this like in your mind, or is it like you have a...
How does this come together?
Kind of honoring my heritage also. I have a Viking heritage. And I decided one day I wanted to try something like this, and so that's what I did.
All right, well, let's talk copper, because we're near, of course, the copper mines in the UP.
Right.
Are there different types of copper that you like to use, or is all copper the same? How are they characterized?
Well, the copper that I use starts off as like rolls of sheet copper, but I also use copper wire. I use copper tubing, copper pipe, copper mesh, you know, for my different pieces and what my needs are. Okay. And then I form it. I have some specialty tools in my shop. I have a roll bender that'll bend rigid copper pipe into circles. I have a power hammer. I have a shear brake, things like that to make my job easier.
Can we talk native copper?
Yes.
I want to talk native copper.
Yes.
You have a sample
I think you got
there,
a
right?
little sample over here too.
Nate, check this out.
Oh, that's got...
Yes, it's heavy.
I mean, it looks like it would be heavy, but this is extremely heavy. Okay. So what exactly am I holding here, Sean?
You're holding a piece of native copper that came from the Adventure Mine up near Ontonagon.
Okay.
And this piece also, and it's some of the purest copper in the world, as you can tell by that cut on that one.
Look at this. So hold that one.
Volcanic eruptions, you know, like what, 15,000 years ago? Like
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure when that occurred.
This is what came out of the earth. This is so
This
cool.
is crazy, yeah.
Camera 4 catch that? Yeah, I can. See that?
And so this is the native copper you were saying, right?
It is.
It has this, I guess, would you call it turquoise kind of color on?
Yeah, it's got a verdigris or a patina. Yeah.
And so does this, if you use native copper, does this stay, or does that color kind of get lost in the process?
That would stay. That's a permanent thing. You know, a lot of the green colors that you see on my pieces are chemical patina.
Okay.
That I do.
Okay.
But most copper oxidizes too, correct?
It will.
Okay, so it takes on a natural green hue, if not sanded or treated over time.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. It adds a little splash of color.
Yeah, I love this.
I love it so much. So Sean, I got a lot that I want to ask you and a lot more I want to talk to you about. We're going to do so after the break. You going to stick around with us?
I will.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on Up North at 4. Stick with us. And Welcome on back to Up North at 4. We're still chatting with Sean, a local copper artist. And Sean, you don't just make these pieces just to make them. You're selling them as well, right?
This is actually my living.
This is your living. And you've got some awesome, awesome stuff. So like behind Jeff here, right? I mean, like we were talking before, a lot of this is nature inspired, right?
It is.
And are this is like a perfect for, you know, indoor living space, right? Is that kind of what you envision this to be?
It is, but the unique thing about copper is it's at home indoors or out.
Okay, okay.
So if somebody chose to, I wouldn't leave them out in the winter, but if they chose to put one out in the summer, that'd be fine.
I was gonna say, speaking of winter, this one, I don't know if we got a shot of this one. This one is perfect here. It's the frog on the ski. Where do you come up with these ideas?
Crazy place, my brain.
Here it is. Look at this. It's a frog on skis.
I love
and by the way,
this
one
so
on
much.
snowshoes here.
Oh,
by the
I
way,
didn't even
too,
notice the snowshoes.
Which snowshoes are is like the worst sport ever to me because like it's harder to walk on snowshoes through snow than it is like to walk. But
I disagree.
But
with
the
that.
one on frog, this skis is good.
That's a good one. That is a good one. And we got a lot of these hanging ones back here as well. So Sean, I know holidays are right around the corner. You've got a lot of collections on your website, copperartstudio.net, so people can go check it out there.
Right.
Can people contact you and say, do you do commissions of any sort?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've gotten some wild ideas.
Yeah,
in the
I've
past?
done some commissions, yeah.
Okay,
4-foot muskies and 6-foot tall sunflower sculptures and yeah.
How long did that take you?
You know, sometimes I don't even keep track.
You just let the work go
I just
for
put
itself.
my head down and go.
Oh my gosh. Jeff, what are you doing back here?
I'm just trying to see everything. My eyes are going a little buggy. So like something like this would take.
Here,
how long would it take you to build something like this?
I'd have a day into a piece like that.
Okay, so in your mind you have like a mold, you know, and you're kind of just framing. This is all your handwork and your tools.
It is, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I do a lot of faceting on my anvil, you know, a lot of shaping of the different pieces, braiding of the copper.
So I'm kind of curious here, Sean. There's this piece behind you here, hanging up on the wall. It's like the fish, looks like I got a dragonfly, the reeds right here. Now, are these all individual pieces that then you place together, or what's the process? Okay.
Yeah.
And then also I noticed you have this, I guess, stand, if you will, piece of concrete. Where do you get that from?
Well, I use a bonding agent, and I put in different interesting looking rocks, and a lot of the pieces will have a piece of native copper as well.
Okay. That goes back to the color we were talking about.
Right.
I think this is the quietest I've heard Jeff all day.
I'm just amazed. You know,
so fascinating.
I'm one of those guys that art to me does not come easily, right? I can't draw a cow, you know. But then you create something like this, and it takes you less than 5 hours to do it. It's just so magical to me what that world of art is, you know.
Well,
and you know, copper isn't an easy ingredient to work with, right? It's malleable.
it is malleable. It's got a lot of great properties for working.
But it's a little bit unforgiving at times too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It can be.
Have you ever ventured out into other mediums, if you will, or are you sticking with copper?
Well, for
As long
30
as you
years
can.
I've stuck with copper, but recently I'm getting interested in stained glass.
Okay.
And I actually wanted to incorporate the stained glass with my sculpture.
Now you're just getting...
But you got a bit of those eyes in here, which kind of shows, right?
Yeah.
A bit of it.
I'm already trying to wrap my head around how would even begin making a copper
Right?
structure. And now he's talking about incorporating stained glass.
But it's very natural. It fits naturally in with the stained glass with the copper edging, right?
Sure.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I can foresee a fish base with a lamp, you know, a stained glass lampshade.
Okay, I bet you that's the next one.
I'm sure.
He's going to make it.
sure.
Okay, so once again, how do people purchase your work?
Well, they can contact me at copperartstudio.net. And I welcome people to my studio by appointment, and are welcome to get hold of me through that.
Yeah.
Links to my emails and such are on my website.
Perfect.
Yep, using local ingredients. Copper's a big thing around here. This is so cool.
I love it. And you know, I'm thinking for next year Christmas, might be a little late now, I'm thinking just a nice copper bust of Jeff Weller, and that would look beautiful on his mantle, right?
You see it? Get it in there. Right?
Well, Sean, we seriously appreciate you coming on. This is so much fun to chat with you and just kind of learn about the process here. In the meantime, though, we are going to take a break. Make sure you check out his work. We'll be right back on Up North at 4.